Hey everyone, we are live here. Just verify that's actually true, as I always do. Got the notification. We are good to go. So, today, as it says in the description, we're going to be playing Aeon's End. So, Aeon's End is a deck building game, cooperative, that has you fighting against a monster. And you're trying to survive. So there's I'll say this. It is a little bit different than some cooperative games that I've played. And cooperative deck builders, or just cooperative in general, they normally give you a lot of ways to lose and about one way to win. This actually gives you a couple different ways to win. And I'll talk about that as we get into it, but it's a really fun deck building game. And I'm doing this playing two-handed, so that just means that I will be controlling two different characters, basically. But of course, before that, we have some beer. Pink Lemonade Dream State. This is a cream ale with lemons and vanilla. I've had it once before. See what I think on the second try. It's decent. So this is a very creamy beer. Especially with the vanilla. The vanilla really accentuates the fact that it is creamy in kind of a less than ideal way. Like normally I don't want my beers to remind me of drinking a milkshake or something like that. Vanilla is actually a flavor that I'm not generally a huge fan of in beers. I picked this up because of the pink lemonade. The issue for me is that the vanilla is the predominant flavor. It's still a really light beer, though, to drink, so not bad at all for a day where it's about 90 degrees outside. And let's take us to the table. Almost hit end stream there. Not have been ideal. So this is part of the setup for Aeon's End. We can't actually see everything. We can kind of see a corner down here of the market of where you buy things. But this game is all about trying to keep my two mages alive, the town of Gravehold alive, and well, really, that's it. And then we have our nemesis over here, Ragebone. And I have never played against him before. I've actually not played Aeon's End in a while, so I'm excited to play this again because it is a unique deck building game. I have my starting hand of cards, which is predetermined for each character. But not only that, I'm short a card for her. Start of cards. But not only that, we have a set second hand of cards. And when these go into the discard pile, they go in whatever order you want them to. So I could put all four of these crystals right next to each other. Because when it comes time for me to draw another hand and I don't have enough cards, I just take the discard pile and flip it. And there are a few other unique things that go on with this game. But let's just jump right in and start with one of the unique things, which is this turn order deck. It has 6 cards, 2 twos, 2 ones, and 2 nemesis. So we don't actually know who's going to go next. I flipped it. Zaxos is our first player to act. So I have 2 different types of cards in my hand. I have these crystals that are just worth 1 money each, and I have a spell. So this basically then I can slot this into an open breach. So I only have one. And then so I could only cast one spell at a time. And it sits in that breach until I go again. Then I have 4 money. And I could from the stuff over here, I can buy relics, spells, and gems. The gems are basically what give you more money. So I'm going to take Searing Ruby. It's 2 gems or 2 ether that you can spend, as well as you gain an additional one that can only be used to gain a spell. And that's our first turn. We flip here. We have the nemesis. So the nemesis deck is divided. Well, was divided into 3 parts, and then those parts are stacked on each other. So we start out with easier stuff. And it tells us what we're going to do here. So we unleash, and in his case, unleash means that he gains a token. And Gravehold suffers 30 damage. Or 3 damage. If it was 30 damage, that'd be a really fast game. So it's at 27. That's the nemesis turn. Because... Yeah, that's it. So the nemesis has 70 health. So like I was saying, one of the ways we can beat him is take down all his health. But that's a lot. So it's possible that we just try and win a battle of attrition and outlast him to get the win. Wrong one? Well, right one, because now we have the nemesis go again. So like you can see, the nemesis can go a couple of times in a row, potentially. Unleash. Oof. Unrelenting ire. So if there are 2 nemesis turn cards in the turn order discard pile, there are, because that was the second time he's gone, he unleashes twice more. So we're up to 5 of those tokens. And I feel like those tokens are going to be bad because he has these strikes that I think remove them, or remove some of them, but the more of them there are on him, the worse it goes. But at this point in time, we know that we already have 2 nemesis cards in there. So we can spend our time really prepping here. This basically, this Garnet Shard is a special gem that goes with Mist. And she can either use it to buy a card for one or be 1 cost or gem ether, I guess ether. Or I can use it to cast a prep spell. However, she only has 4 to spend here. I'll actually stick that one on top to make sure we get it our next hand. And I did mess this up. So when you buy, it goes to the discard pile. Then, at the end of your turn, you take every card you played and put it on the discard pile. So for 4, we'll grab a Searing Ruby as well for her. We know it's going to be a 1 or a 2. It's a 1. And I would draw my hand of 5 cards here. So I have 3 crystal and 2 spark. I only have 1 open breach. So I for sure will cast this spell. It goes automatically to the discard pile, and that deals 1 damage to our dear old nemesis. So if I do that another 69 times, then we'll have beaten him. I have 2 sparks here. And you know what? I'm going to spend all 3 of these to open this breach. So whatever is on the top tells you what you can do. So it's 3 to open the breach, or 2 to focus the breach, which would turn it 1 further. So the further you turn it, the cheaper it is to open. But for 3, I'm just going to open that breach so that then I can have both sparks out, and we're really kind of getting ready to pummel lightly. Over here, I can cast it, revealing the top card. We know it's going to be a player. Well, we don't know what it is going to be because turn 2. Or player 2 was the last one in that stack. And so we reshuffle the turn order deck. Flip it, it's a nemesis. So I cast that only for 1 more damage. Also know that we have the nemesis coming up, but doesn't do me much good right now. My hand, I have a spark and 4 money. So I can buy cards over here, and or I could spend basically fill in spots down here, get charges, and basically activate my superpower. I have a special power for each character. So Zaxos is allies collectively gain 4 charges. Reveal the turn order deck and return the revealed cards in any order. So basically, we could set up something nice there. I'm not gonna do that yet. I'm going to do Ignite, which is a spell that has 2 damage when it's cast, and any ally gains 1 charge. So flip both of these. I'll remember to draw my hand of 5. There is double audio. Oh, it's because I had to reset the video camera. There, is that better, Fatal? Hopefully it is. The video camera was not behaving nicely while I was trying to get going, so I had to reset it up. Alright, here we go. Nemesis. We're blasting through this Nemesis deck, which is never fun. Okay, so we have our first minion. So minion is basically just a character or a creature that comes along with our nemesis. They sit out here, and whenever the nemesis goes, they also go. Excellent, so this audio is better. And this one, basically, every time the nemesis goes, will deal damage to Gravehold equal to the number of these tokens. So I really hope that we can try and knock that out as fast as possible. Alright, player 2 goes next, which is Zaxos. We're going to cast a spell. And I could hit the nemesis for 1, but I'm going to hit the provoker for 1. Because, yeah, I want to get him out as fast as possible. So this hand of cards here, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 purchase power, plus an additional 1 for purchasing a spell. We're going to do the Oblivion Swell. This gives me an additional Aether for being prepped, but then also when I cast it, I could discard a gem, which would boost how much damage it can do. So that cost me 4 because I had the bonus one, which means I have 2 left. And I'm going to buy the Flexing Dagger. The next time you focus or open a breach this turn, it costs 3 less. Really makes things a whole lot cheaper for that. Over here, we're going to fire off 2 more spells. Get them up to 3. And pretty similar setup to Zaxos. I can have 7 for casting spells or for buying spells. I'm going to buy a Lava Tendril for 4. That when it's cast deals 3 damage, but also when it's prepped, I can just leave it prepped and it will ping 1 damage each turn. And so that cost me 3, which means I still have 3 left. I'm going to grab a relic here, the Unstable Prism. Play a gem in hand twice and destroy it, or gain 2 Aether. So like a really good gem might give you 3, which means you can really hit hard. Or you can really get a lot of money, I should say. Like you double that one up. Alright, player 1 goes again. I was like, why are they so far off? But it's because she has 2 breaches open, both which will get loaded up with sparks, and then 3. We're going to start focusing another breach here for her. So the further up along this path the breaches are for holding a spell, the more expensive they are to open, but they also pump out more damage. Alright, let's see who we get. Oh, I accidentally took her turn, but fortunately she goes twice in a row. Now I go again here. Let's grab our 5. The tricky thing with this is you really do feel like you should be going in like a specific turn order, but the turn order deck determines how things go. So I'm going to drop Ignite into here. I won't have room to play Flare, so that will be discarded at the end of the turn, and I have 3 purchase power. I'm actually going to only spend 2 of it. It costs 2 to give myself a charge. And we're going to put Flare on the top of the discard so we can get more money together. Well, we know what this is going to be. We have the Nemesis. So starting here, he deals 5 damage to Gravehold. Again, that's 1 for each of these tokens on Rageborn. And then we flip this one, and this is a power. So power 3. Player with the most prepped spells suffers 2 damage for each prepped spell. This actually goes and sits off to the side over here, and I will double check that for sure. And basically it means that power okay, so I'm going to do that slightly wrong, but I'm glad the notification worked for you this time, Fatal. So basically what this means is after the nemesis goes another 3 times, and I remove that last token from a card, you can't actually see that beneath the picture of myself. Yeah, so Fatal was saying, Fatal Paper Cut was saying that Aeon's End is a game that he always feels like he's going to lose early and mid game, which honestly I kind of do feel that way right now because I need to deal with that guy, otherwise Gravehold is just going to get smashed. But as you open up more breaches and do things like that, all of a sudden, like, the power level of these 2 mages scale so much faster. Whereas the nemesis, especially if you get lucky with some flips here, like that, boom, boom, take out the provoker. Now we're in a better position and we can start to go again. So we have the hand here, Lava Tendril, and Spark, as well as 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to spend. And I'm going to take the Burning Opal gem, and that's basically 3 Aether to use to spend on stuff, and I may discard a card from my hand. If I do, any ally draws a card, so Zaxos would draw a card. And having more than 5 cards is really nice. I'll keep those in that order. So yeah, this is a tough game, and I also really enjoy it, which I have every small box expansion and every big box that's out, as well as having backed the most recent Kickstarter, so I clearly like it a lot. Alright, 2. So I could just let this sit here, but I know that I have a couple spells in here. So I'm going to fire this off to deal 2 more damage to the nemesis. We're down to 66. And then I'm going to use the Flexing Dagger. Next time you focus or open a breach this turn, it costs 3 less. 2. And then with the Searing Ruby, to basically get it to a 5 to open up that second breach. I only have 1 more to spend. but I now have Spark and Oblivion Swell in there, ready to go, and I can decide to put these in my deck in any order. I always forget to draw the hand of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I really like the fact that you don't have to shuffle in this one. It makes playing the game a lot easier. I feel like Nemesis, of course. I feel comfortable with streaming it because I'm not spending the whole time shuffling. Alright, we have minion, Haze Spewer, persistent. Gravehold suffers damage equal to this minion's current life, then the minion suffers a damage. So we really only need to deal 4 to him. 1 damage to Gravehold is not the end of the world, probably. And he'd take himself out. And there's nothing that activates then on Rageborn. So we take this, flip. No, I'm just going to spend both of those and deal the 4 damage right now. And Dr. Gloryhog would appreciate what I'm using here, as I have game trays to hold the pieces. So this is a very boring hand. I just have 5 Aether. And I'm going to use that to get a... No, I can't get a Clouded Sapphire. That costs 1 too many. I'm going to get another Lava Tendril. Why? Because Lava Tendrils help me hit hard. Alright. Then 2. Alright, so we know the last one's the Nemesis. In other hand, with 5, well prepped, once during your main phase, I can gain 1. So I'm actually going to use the Spark here to just take out this Haze Spewer, because I really don't want the damage. It is only 1 damage, but that might be enough to take me out. I'm going to leave that there, so I have 6 purchase power. With 6 purchase power, I can get a Clouded Sapphire, which gives me 3 Aether, as well as then any ally gains a charge every time I play it, or play 1, the first one I play a turn. So like you can see, I'm kind of keeping that one just sitting there to keep me in the money a little bit. Well, we know this is going to be the Nemesis, so we lose a token from that, and flip here. Rageborn Strikes. So, Rageborn has a special strike deck, and this, I'm pretty sure, is where we're going to see those tokens come into play, because it says, when Rageborn strikes, resolve in the following order. Draw a card from the strike deck and resolve it. Shuffle the card back into the deck, and then remove 3 Fury tokens. So, Eviscerate. The player with the lowest life suffers 2 damage. We're both the same, so I'll have Zaxos take the damage. And then I remove 3 of these tokens. So that one didn't have anything based off of the tokens, but I suspect, I'm afraid that some will, which will So we're down to 1 token left here on this power card. So let's shuffle again. And keep going. So my mages only have 10 health each. So that was 20% of the health of Zaxos there. Let's flip it over. Oof, Nemesis. That drops 2 damage to the player or mage with the most prep spells, which is Zaxos. Flip it here. Oh, and now we're into level 2 Nemesis cards. 11 health and just pings for 2 damage every time it goes. So, 2. Alright, let's look at this hand. So what we have here. Alright, so I'm going to cast this. And I'm not going to discard a gem, so it's only 2 damage. And I hate to do it, but I'm doing it over here on the Nemesis, just because the Needle Maw is going to get annoying. And then I drop 2 spells in. I have Ignite, which adds a charge, and Flare. As well then as I have 4 or 5 purchase power, which I'm going to get another Oblivion Swell. Alright, let's see who goes next. Of course, the Nemesis does. So, 2 damage to Gravehold. Unleash twice, which means more Fury tokens. And any character suffers 2 damage. So we're going to move that over to Mist. Yeah, this is where it starts to feel real tough, because in a matter of 3 Nemesis activations, we went from 20 total health to 14. But at least I know the next 3 turns are the good guys. So 2 sparks. Two sparks, and I have the Burning Opal, which gives me 3. And then I can discard 1 to let Zaxos draw an additional card, because I still am going to have 5 purchase power with the Unstable Prism. And I'm going to grab another Opal. So now I have 2 opals in that deck right next to each other that hopefully will come up at the right times. Or come up together, because that could give Zaxos a lot to do, potentially. So, looking in at his hand, we have a spell. But I'm still going to cast, dealing 2 damage to the Needle Maw. And Mist gains a charge. And then reveal the top. Hey, it's a player. So that is another 3 damage to Needle Maw. So we are up already to 7 damage here. And that's before Zaxos even goes. He has a Spark. We'll drop that in. So the Flexing Dagger is going to reduce the cost of focusing or opening a breach, as well as then I have 6 to spend, including a clouded sapphire, which means Mist gets another charge. So that's 6. Well, I'm going to open up another one and have put my spark down there, because this one, when opened, deals +1 damage. Now I can put these in any order into my discard. And finally, we come back here to Mist. 2 sparks will hit the minion twice more. Up to 9. Getting very close here. And getting double lava tendrils. I don't have a spot for that spark, and only 3 to spend, or I could go with 2 to spend. I'm actually going to go with 2 to spend here and use this to cast the spark from over here for 2 damage to take out the Neomah. So we're able to punch through that guy pretty fast. Of course, I have a spark I can't use, and 2 purchase, which will get me a flexing dagger, which is the one that I've been using to reduce the cost to open breaches. I'm going to put both money right after that, so hopefully I can get those and just open up a breach. And we take the turn order deck and flip it, and shuffle it. This is the only thing that I shuffle. Player 1 goes. Perfect. So I have, you know what, I have enough. I'm not going to actually cast these. I'm just going to ping him for 2, because this sets me up with a lot of damage potentially, especially since I'm going to open this breach with all 5 of these. So if I can put another spell here, I can pump out a lot of damage. Of course, that assumes we don't have a nemesis sooner rather than later. Zaxos here has 2 Oblivion Swell and 3 Purchase Power. I could get the Unstable Prism, but I don't know that I want to. I think I'm just going to work on adding in charges, because being able to sort the turn order deck could be really handy coming up here with the nemesis going. To discard, lose 4 charges, and we have, like, that's a cost you have to pay all at once, and it has a power 2, so after 2 more nemesis activations it's going to unleash 4 times, which would give it a lot of fury. So I don't have 4 charges here. I'm still just going to ping away. Got them down to 62. I'm looking at here, I have a spark I can add. I'm going to have 6 purchase power. I'm just going to discard these 2 cards so Zaxos can draw an additional 2 from those burning opals. And I'm going to use that to get 2 more there. So next time Mist goes, oh no, right now she can discard 4 charges to deal with Blood Cry. So that wasn't out there long. But now she has 2 more. We'll start building up those charges again. Put that down. Massive hand of cards here. I'm actually going to launch out an attack with both of these for 5 damage. 57. I mean, from 70 we've done 13 damage and are about a third of the way through the game. But the further we get into the game, the more damage we can pump out. We have a Flare. We have Ignite. We have Clouded Sapphire, which gives us 3 Aether and a charge over here. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to buy spells, or 6 for other stuff. And this makes focusing or opening a breach cost 3 less. So I'm going to spend 1 to work on focusing this breach. And then that still gives us 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, I had 8. Actually, I'm not going to do that, because then I can pull the spell in Monstrous Inferno. I have to use 2 open breaches for this, but it deals 7 damage however I choose, divided amongst the nemesis and the minions. So that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Forgot to draw for her. So we flip, knowing it's the nemesis. Unleash twice, and Gravehold suffers 3 damage, or place the most recently discarded minion card back into play. I'm going to put the minion card back into play. It's the Needle Maw again, but only 2 damage each time, and hope that we can kill him off quickly yet again. I mean, I already have 4 damage over here, plus, I mean, that's 8 damage from Mist. So we'll do Flare, so we know for, well, we have 5 damage actually coming at the Needle Maw, plus Mist gains a charge. And then check out the hand. Only 1 spell, 4 money. So we're gonna do Ignite again. And we know who's coming up here. So we're gonna fire off both of these, because that will be a total of 6 damage, enough to take out the Needle Maw yet again. Almost forgot to draw the hand. And I'm not going to cast the Spark. I'm just going to load up here. Ooh, or do I want to... I could focus for 1 and get that closer to open. Or I have 4 to get a spell. I'm going to use 4 to get a spell and get another lava tendril. And discard them all in there. Hey, perfect, a hand of 5. Nemesis goes. To discard, spend 7 Aether or power 2. So after 2 times, unleash. Any player suffers 1 damage. That player suffers an additional damage for each Fury token Rageborn has. So that's 5 damage, which wouldn't kill either character, but it'd get close. But of course, the trick is you have to have 7 money to get rid of it, and this is a solid hand of 5. So what I'm going to do, I will fire off all those spells, because I'm going to have spells coming up again soon. 4 damage, and I'm spending 4 crystals to fill up this, which allows Zaxos, I can use that ability now, to draw an additional 4 cards. So I'm really hoping to get that 7. Because then that flips down. Nemesis. So we lose a power token. And Venomite. The player with the lowest life suffers 2 damage, or any player discards a prep spell that costs 3 or more. Yikes. So let's see how much I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I have enough, which means I'm going to be spending all of that. I'm going to fire this off too for 2 damage on, well, the Venomite. But I have 8, so I am going to discard that card. It sucks not adding anything in, but I'm kind of set up. I want to do the Monstrous Inferno and Oblivion Swell. So these 2 cards can't even go in. Like, this is where you can start to split up spells a little bit. So that, like that turn, this one has to be in 2. So now I'm better set up to be able to play my spells without having to discard them, like I just did. Let's see what we get here. 1. Tendrils, perfect. Drop that in. 3, draw a card. 3, draw a card. So 6, 8, 9. We're going to buy another Monstrous Inferno. Alright, Nemesis goes here. So, we do have a few spells that we could drop, but I'm going to take the damage on the character right now, just because I still have a little bit of room to play with. Not that much. Let's see what we get here. Unleash twice. Yikes. So we're up to 6. On there, the player with the most prep spells discards their most expensive prep spell, so we lose Monstrous Inferno. with a dispel attack. No, it's not ideal. Discard a spell that costs 3 or more. We'll do that over here just so that Zaxos doesn't take more damage. I guess this means we know that we're going for a few turns here. A couple ignites, as well as 4 money. Let me use that 4 Aether to just focus even further. Because once I get this one open, then I can really start pumping out a lot of spells. I don't have to open them in order like I have. I could focus on this one first. I just haven't done that with either character. I've been more focused on getting them open than on opening the better ones. Well, it's going to be me or me. Over here, I got no spells to cast, unfortunately. But I do have a couple lava tendrils to get into play. And I have... I'm going to use this one to cast this ignite. I don't think it actually matters, so I might as well keep the money from it. Now I'm going to cast that ignite. Why? Because I don't have any other use for it. And that's 3 damage to the Venomite. And then, with the combination of Flexing Dagger and the Searing Ruby, I can then get this one closer to being opened. Alright, like we still have a little ways to go in this game, but I feel like we're hanging in decently well. Especially since now I can just pop them for 4, which adds a charge. So the Venomite is gone. And I have my hand here. And I've kind of had fun just like Zaxos hands out charges, Mist then casts or then gives him cards. So it's kind of a nice combo there. And I have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to spend on spells. I'm actually going to get another Clouded Sapphire just to get to the point where I can start discarding some of my smaller money cards because I have better ones in there. Let's draw our 5. Need 1 more. And shuffle up. Alright, so we're just going to start launching an all-out attack to see how quickly we can get Rageborn down, because that's 7 damage right there. So that takes down to 44 out of 70. And I have 3 spells to drop in, plus 2 coins, or 2 Aether, which means just another one over here. Draw my hand of 5. Let's see who goes next. Boom. immediately again. We have, yeah. So we're casting all 3 of these for a total of 4 damage. Down to 40. No more playing it safe, we're going into blitz mode. Because I have this. Plus I have a burning opal, which allows him to draw. And I have 6 to buy. I'm going to get a lava tendril, which means I have 2 left, which means I'm going to fill this in and then fire it off so that 1, 2, 3, 4 more cards for Zaxos. Zaxos has a shit ton of cards at this point. And I really hope we get a 2. Nope, we get the Nemesis. Scorn, so persistent, 3 damage to Gravehold or Unleash twice. You can probably blitz them out fairly fast here since I have a huge hand of cards. And we are going to fire away. Let me see. I'm going to discard a gem. So, oh, discarding a crystal to that doesn't actually do me any good. I only have crystals in my hand here. That sucks. So 2, 3, 4 damage. All of it to Scorn. And let's start working with everything I have in here. We're getting that Monstrous Inferno back out. We're getting that Flare out. Reduce the cost of opening that breach so it's down to 4. Use 4 crystals, open that breach. So I would actually put the Flare over here. Yeah, I'm going to do that just in case something causes me to get rid of Monstrous Inferno again. And I have 3 to buy with. I'm just going to spend to get another crystal there and or charge there. So yeah. Holy moly is right. That was having literally an extra hand of cards dealt to you is really nice. And so fire this off. 1 damage from this plus, well, 2 damage from this takes him up to 6, plus 8 damage from this that I can split up. So 3 more for that. Goodbye. As well as then 5 damage. So this is, as Fatal Paper Cut was saying, this is when all of a sudden things start to click a little bit in what you're doing. Perfect. Ignite, ignite. Oblivion Swell. I have 6 purchased, and I give out only 1 charge, even though I have 2 Clouded Sapphire, because it says the first one you play. And we're going to grab another Oblivion Swell. Just because I'm going to start discarding like those Clouded Sapphires, since it doesn't say destroy them, it says discard them, so the Oblivion Swell already deals 2. The Clouded Sapphire would add an additional 6 damage that's being put out. Then, alright, we have Nemesis. Any player places their discard pile on top of their deck, shuffles it, and then destroys the top 4 cards of their deck. Then unleash twice. Yeesh. Well, I know where the Monstrous Inferno is in Mist deck, so sorry, Mist. 1, 2, 3, 4. So, we'll finish the unleash twice. Oof, up to 8 on there. So, ooh, that sucks. We have a burning opal, which is one of the draw cards, 2 crystals, and a lava tendril. So, yeah, that sucks. And, well, we know who's going next. Over here, we have, yeah, we're going to fire everything off, as always. So, these two are 3 each, so 6. Plus I'm discarding my Searing Ruby to take this one up to 6 damage as well. So 12 total damage on the nemesis. I have a couple spells to drop in and 2 purchase. So all I'm going to do is bump up there, drop that into play. This might be coming to an end fast here, though Rageborn has 8 tokens. I don't want to know what would happen if, like, there's a strike that's like deal damage to a player equal to the number of Fury tokens. That would suck. Well, might see it here. Reality Rupture. Destroy 2 prep spells that cost 3 or more. Ooh. Or unleash 3 times. So we don't actually have anybody who can do that yet. And there's only 1 power counter on there. Alright, so let's see, what do I got in my hand? Only crystals, that sucks. So, 3, 4, 5 damage. Down to 18. 5 purchase power. An Oblivion Swell. No, we're actually not going to do that. We're going to do the Burning Opal just so that I can get a little bit more in the way of cards I can discard. Alright, let's have some fun here. So that's 8 total damage, down to 10 on the nemesis. I do have a spell here, Lava Tendril. Discarding cards so Zaxos can draw. Forgot to draw his hand. And I do have 3 purchase power. But all I'm going to use that for is I'm going to use 2 of it to get another charge. I am worried here what will happen. Alright. Zaxos. Please tell me you have some spells. Yes, we do. Monstrous Inferno. Flare. Oblivion Swell. Fluxing Dagger, since I'm fully opened up on my breaches, does me no good anymore, so I can destroy that card to deal a damage. So that helps me thin my deck and do something useful-ish. Ooh, nice. I get another charge on Mist. She can't use that ability until her main phase, and I have 4 purchase power, so we're going with an Ignite. Alright. The nemesis is going to go again before I can kill him. Pretty sure. Yep. So we lose that. I didn't discard spells that cost 3 or higher. That would suck to get rid of both of those. We're doing the unleash 3 times. 1, 2, 3. So I mean that is 11 on there. Terrifying. Unleash twice. Well, and then the player with the most open breaches destroys 4 cards in hand or suffers 4 damage. If I suffer 4 damage, Zaxos dies. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. That sucks, but I still have 1 card here, and flip this. Fire off this one for 4 damage, so we're down to 5. I can spend all of these charges so Zaxos can draw 4 cards, so Zaxos has a hand again. And over here I have a Spark, a Lava Tendril, and Searing Ruby will help me start getting my charges back again, and the Flexing Dagger and a Crystal will get this closer to being opened as well. Alright, so we're coming down to it. I'm actually really surprised that we've only had to draw 1 strike. Oh yeah, so yes, Fatal Paper Cut, I completely agree with you. I think if this card is a nemesis card, I feel like somebody is dying with all those Fury tokens on there. And this is the 2nd edition Aeon's End. I'm not sure with these 2 characters, they might be from the small box expansions, but I don't remember for sure, and here we go. Okay, so we actually have a little bit of time here because he'll strike twice, or we can discard it by spending 8 ether, and most likely, I was going to say most likely we go next, but no such luck. Oh, Avatar of Wrath, Persistent, Rageborn Strikes. So we're into level 3 stuff, but I am up next, and all I have to do is deal 5 damage. That's 4, 5. That's way more than 5. So who gets the killing blow? Mist deals 5 damage to Rageborn, taking him down to 0. So there we have it. So you probably have Fatal Paper Cut. You probably have played against Rageborn because he is the one that, out of the box, they're like, start with him. So I'm just curious about what some of these strikes are, because it feels like they could be bad, but actually not as bad as I thought they might be. So this one, players collectively discard their 2 most expensive spells. Then we have player with the lowest life suffers 2 damage. Gravehold suffers 5. Player with the most open breaches suffers 3. Player with the most open breaches suffers 4. Player with the most open breaches suffers 2. Player with the most open breaches suffers 1. Player with the most open breaches suffers 2. Player with the most open breaches suffers 1. Player with the most open breaches suffers 2. Player with the most open breaches suffers 1. Player with the most open breaches suffers 2. Player with the most open breaches suffers 1. 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 Player with the most open brea any player suffers 4. Gravehold suffers 3. Any player suffers 4. But still, I mean, getting 3 of those strikes would have been bad. And I want to double check with the Fury tokens here. So, like, there's this onslaught attack, which he unleashes 3 times, and then players collectively discard cards in hand equal to the number of Fury tokens Rageborn has. So, had that one come up, nothing. And so they weren't actually terrible, but let's see. There was another one in here. Oh yeah, so like the Invoke Carnage, unleash, any player suffers 1 damage, then 1 additional damage for each Fury token Rageborn has. That would have killed anybody off instantly. Or the Provoker, Gravehold suffers damage equal to the number of Fury tokens Rageborn has. So not a ton of cards actually messed around with that. Though I was down to 2 of those tokens left. So, well, I'm going to wrap up because I have some Loki to watch tonight. So maybe Rageborn comes back for the Legacy game as well, so it might be a different character or different version that uses more of them. But like I was saying, with that, I'm going to wrap up so I can watch some Loki. Thank you everybody for joining me live, and then after the fact, thank you Fatal for hopping on. I kind of just want to start playing a whole lot of Aeon Zen because I really like it. So it might be one that gets streamed a little bit more often. But there's information down below in the comments how to get a hold of me, other stuff I have going on, including Nerdologist's website, this YouTube channel, and 10 Minute Marvel podcast. But with that, bottoms up.